night hour, and we're going to talk Celtics Warriors. And we've got Leo here, we've got Eric here, Gino, all of us from Better Than Vegas. Make sure to give us a follow at BTV Bets. We'll be here with you to preview every game of the NBA Finals along the way. Leo is a Celtics fan, so he is pumped up for the opportunity to get here. Eric and I will be kind of looking at this series, a little bit more objectively. Eric's Milwaukee Bucks got knocked out a couple series ago. Also, Detroit Pistons fan. My Lakers weren't even in sniffing range this year. So, from a fan perspective, Leo's going to be the one that's on the hot seat. That's going to be nervous and anxious through each of these games as we talk about the series a little bit overall, and we'll talk about Game 1. Because for me, Game 1, I won't be diving into as many individual Game 1 props as I will starting in Game 2, 3, 4, and throughout the series. I'll kind of reflect on what happens in Game 1, and then I'll react to the lines, right? Some guys that maybe underachieved a little bit, I'll bounce others, or we'll sort of look at how these two teams match up. So, Leo, I'm going to talk a little bit kind of overall series here. Before we kind of get into the Game 1 tonight, were there any series plays or any kind of future plays that you made on the series?
Man, I almost talked myself into taking the Celtics to win the series. I'm going to wait to see how this goes tonight. I don't think that line's big enough for me to want it right now. I think if the Celtics lose tonight, I'm going to hop on it because I'm assuming that line will probably jump to 220, 250, that range. Yeah. That's enough for me to buy in right there. As for tonight, I got a couple plays in the game tonight. I think this is going to be a really good series, though. I think this is a lock to go 6-7 games. These two teams are evenly matched. The Celtics have the best winning percentage against the Warriors since 2014. For whatever reason, we always match up well with them. I think this is going to be awesome. Honestly, I think this has the makings of an all-time great NBA Finals.
I think, Eric, we got the best team, I think the best two teams available from their conferences based on health and who was around and everyone. The best version of this Celtics team and the best version of this Warriors team feel like they were the best teams around in each conference right now. So I think that we do have the opportunity to probably get the best available finals that we may have had with these two teams ending up in here. Eric, let's talk a little bit about the series overall. Are there any plays that you're looking at attacking overall series stuff? And then we'll dive more into Game 1 tonight.
Yeah, I got a couple series plays. I'm going to start off. I have a couple. I did Robert Williams has the most rebounds at plus 1,400. I think with Looney on the court, we could see a little bit more Williams play. And with how he's kind of able to lurk on the back end, I think he's open to get some rebounds. But on the flip side, I had to play at this number because this player's averaging 6 rebounds a game. I found Wiggins at 80-1 to have the most rebounds for the series. The Warriors go small. If the Warriors go small and the Celtics match the small ball, that's going to open up a lot of rebound opportunity for Wiggins. And at 80-1, I mean, you got to play him there. For most points, I took Jaylen Brown. I found him at 9-1. Tatum's going to get a lot of different looks. He's going to get a box and one. He's going to have Wiggins guarding him. He's going to have Gary Payton guarding him. And Iggy's actually activated. He'll have Iggy guarding him. He'll have Jalen. He'll have Draymond Green guarding him. This is going to be his toughest series offensively to work to get baskets. So if the Celtics have a chance to win the series, I believe Brown's going to have to be their leading scorer. So that's why I took Brown to be their leading scorer. I also saw Clay at 40-1. Same thing. Smart's really done a good job of shutting down Curry. There could be 2 good Clay games. Tatum doesn't score that many. Brown is so inconsistent. 40-1 on Klay Thompson to be the leading scorer. I really feel there's a huge value on that.
Yeah, because we were talking about this last night with that kind of a play. You can eliminate so many people from even who possibly could be the leading scorer, right? Yeah. That comes down to 4 people. It could be maybe 2, maybe 3 different people from the Celtics, and then maybe 2.5 from the Warriors. That's it. It's not like everybody could possibly be the leading scorer in a series. So that's why the Clay, I like that Clay one, and even Jaylen Brown. Any other full series plays, Eric? Because I've got a couple, and then we're going to get to you too.
I did three MVP plays. I did I did Wiggins at 40-1 to be the MVP. I mean, if he really does shut down Tatum, does a good job, averages about 15. Smart's able to keep Curry in check. I feel it could be Wiggins could be a dark horse at 40-1. I have to play that. And then I found Green and Thompson at both 18-1. I put a little bit on that too, just because Green, I was really hoping Green would have a better number for assists. It's 5.5. Juice to the over, which I think he will go over that, but I can't play at that price. With how the Celtics play D, Green's going to be able to slice it up, get a lot of people open looks. Clay, he isn't what he used to be, but he's still damn good. And with how the Celtics play defense, it's going to be focused on Curry. He's going to get a lot of opportunity to score.
And I think with Clay is that narrative. You and I talked a little bit about this last night when we recorded. People would love to give Clay a finals MVP because what he's been through to get back here. If Clay has a good couple games to start, then that's going to be like a momentum that's building up of like Klay Thompson, finals MVP. Could you believe it? All the time he missed, he's back and he's got a chance to. People will want to give Clay the finals MVP.
They'll want to do the new. Yep. The one guy, though, in the series, I'm really going to look to attack unders. I didn't attack this one because I want to see if the game kind of plays out how I think it will be Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is a huge liability defensively. Some of the stuff he does, you can kind of see like Dre and Clay are kind of looking at him like with him forcing the shots. Like, what are you doing?
It's like, you're not Curry yet, buddy.
I think
don't take that.
I think this is going to be a little bit of a wake up call for like Jordan Poole, but I want to see it first. If it plays out tonight the way I think it will with him, I'll be hammering those under totals until the books adjust.
Okay, Leo, just because I don't want you to get upset with me for only having Warriors series plays, I've got one for the Celtics, a full series play that I like because this doesn't have anything to do with the Celtics winning or losing. So even if I'm dead wrong with my analysis and the Celtics win, I could hit this. But if the Celtics lose, I could still hit this. Tatum to average 28.5 in the series is plus 102. It's plus money. And so the way I'm sort of thinking it, like, I actually think it's going to be a short series. I do think Golden State is just going to be a little bit overwhelming for them. I think it's like 5-6 is what I'm thinking. 4-1, 4-2. So, but I still think Tatum will have at least one monster 40 to 45 plus point game. And then if it is a short series, it'll actually make it easier for him to average a high number. That's kind of my thinking. I still think he'll be able to get his, even if it's sort of like inefficient. So I'm going to go Tatum to average 28.5 points for the series plus. It's plus 102. That's one of my plays on the Celtics side. I got a couple on the Warriors, like I mentioned. If you like the Warriors to win the series, if you play the Warriors minus 1.5 game, if you're trying to find ways to turn a favorite into value, that's what I'm doing. Instead of, if I like the favorite, how can I turn a chalk into making a little money out of it? The Warriors at minus 1.5 games would be plus 148. So if they were to win anything above game 7, so if it's 4-2, 4-1, or a sweep, you'd hit the Warriors price there. If you want to try to nail it exactly, Warriors 4-2 is plus 500. I could very, very realistically see that happening because I think Boston is good. I think they're tough, but it's, Leo, my main concern with them is I look at the teams that Boston played. Series 1, they played Durant and Kyrie, two tough offensive players. The problem is think about who the Nets were missing. It would have been either Simmons or Harden, right? That next piece, who, if they wouldn't have made the trade, and Joe Harris, who is like a really sneaky good, probably would have been like their 4th best player. Then you get to Milwaukee, and Milwaukee basically has Giannis, no Middleton, and Drew Holiday shot awful the entire series. Part of that was Boston, but you get to the 3rd round, and now all of a sudden, Hero is out. Butler was MIA for like 2 games. He was non-existent because he was hurt, and there was no Lowry. Boston's defense is good, but they haven't had to deal with an actual team with their full complement of offensive weapons. It's so much easier to attack Durant and Kyrie when that's all a team has, or to attack Giannis when they don't have very many other options, or to attack Butler when there's no Hero and Lowry can't even stand up. So I'm just a little bit worried that game 1 is going to be shell-shocking for Boston. I hope Golden State kicks the crap out of them, and then in game 2, I'm going to play Boston. I will absolutely play Boston on the overreaction. So, Leo, let's talk about any series plays you have before game one.
Y'all are going to be proud of me. I actually got one here. I know you called on me earlier, but I was too excited for the game, and I got the pregame up right now. You got Deuce passing the ball to Tatum, and I started getting giddy. But no, I got one series play here. We talked about the MVP. I think you guys absolutely nailed it with Clay. I don't see any type of value on Steph Curry to be the MVP. I think if the Warriors do win this, there's a lot of value. I mean, BetOnline has Klay Thompson at 15-1 to win the MVP, is the second highest number. That's absurd. Okay, There's no way. And again, Eric touched on it. I think Ime Udoka's main focus is going to be shutting down Steph Curry. We know what Marcus Smart's going to give us, right? We know Marcus Smart is going to be on either Steph Curry or Klay Thompson the entire game. The question is, who is going to guard the other one, right? It's either going to be Derek White or Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has all the potential to be a fantastic defensive player, but there are times that kid falls asleep and I want to throw him through a window. Okay, I've had enough of Jaylen Brown's defense. And Derek White, yeah, I think he's pretty good, but I just don't see it. All right, I think there's going to be a lot of inconsistencies. I think Marcus is going to take care of Steph Curry. I think Klay Thompson's a really smart play for MVP at plus 1,500. And then also, I have this over 6.5 games. You can take this to get to Game 7 at plus 450. I'm in. I think this is going to be a 7-game series. These teams are very, very equal. That's what I'm going with here. Those are my two series plays.
A couple overall series plays. And as I said, sometimes when you're gambling, you're kind of hoping for things too, right? Because especially in a series, I love when something happens that you want in game one, because then it gives you the opportunity to play the opposite way in game two, or to really feel like you have a good feel for it. I think some of the reasoning that I laid out, that this might be in game one just a little bit different than what Boston has dealt with, because they've been dealing with like sort of slower, kind of muck it up teams where you're kind of like fighting against them. This is going to be like a speed that they're not used to. I think they can very nicely counter that in a game two, or once they come back to Boston and then get a little bit tougher. Eric, you were mentioning guys like Poole. You can be aggressive with him. You get aggressive with Steph. You get aggressive with Clay. Like, Boston's a little thicker than them, and I think that will help. I just think in game one, the speed is going to be a little bit too much. So my only game one play would be on the Warriors side, and would be to boost the Warriors, because if I like the Warriors, I think they're going to win, and I think they'll win easily in game one. I hope they do. Then we get the line inflated a couple extra points, and I come back and play Boston money line in game two on the major overreaction. So, Eric, any ways that you're looking to attack this game tonight? So the play that I made was actually Golden State minus 9.5 at plus 196. So if they win by 10 points, you're basically getting plus 200. I think that's how I'm hoping to play the series. I feel like close game, last 5 minutes, there's one of those Golden State stretches where they go on a crazy run and they get this thing up to double digits. Eric, game one, how are you playing?
First play is I took the Warriors. I got them at minus 3.5. Since the start of this run, the Warriors have had as single digit favorites at home. Game one, they are 9-2 ATS. So they've covered 9 out of 11 games. I really like that trend. Teams coming off a game 7 and going on the road are 32-51 straight up. So, I mean, there's all these historical trends that kind of favor Golden State in this situation. My main thing with the Celtics is I kind of feel like everyone is talking about like the tough road they've had. I've kind of felt like they've made it harder for themselves than they actually needed to.
I agree. I agree with that.
Games even you look at the last part, they're up, 11 points with 3 minutes left in game 7, and they almost lost it. I mean, who knows what happens if Butler drives to the rim and that game goes to overtime. They're missing a lead guard at the end of the day. I love Marcus Smart, but Boston really wants to win a championship. I feel they need to have that lead guard will take care of the ball in those critical situations, last 3-4 minutes of the game. They leave a lot of 3-point shooters open with how they play defense, with how they switch and everything. Also, like Gino was kind of touched on it, the way the Nets play, the Bucks play, and the Miami play, it's a lot of ISO ball. They don't have the freedom of movement, the motion that the Warriors use. So I really think the Celtics are going to be a little shell shocked with that. My other play is Tatum under 28.5 points. Last 5, he's averaging 23.8 against the Warriors for the year. He averaged 6.5. We need to remember the first game 1 looks that the Warriors gave Luka. They were going box and one. They did zone. They were doubling. I just think Kerr's just going to give Tatum just so many looks. He's just going to say, hey, you know what? If Brown beats us, Smart, Horford, whoever, that's fine. But we're not going to let Jason Tatum come in on game 1 and get home court advantage. So I like Tatum under 20.5.
What's great, Leo, is that all of this, all the handicapping, everything, if Boston goes in there and takes one of these 2 games, they head back with home court advantage and nothing really matters. And so that is what's cool about getting to this point, and that, you know, people can say, like I said, well, maybe they wouldn't have beat this team if they were healthy, or maybe they wouldn't have beat that team if they were healthy. You know what? At this point, it doesn't really matter anymore other than for talking points, right? Because now Boston is here with the chance to just win their way to an NBA title. And maybe they are a year ahead, and maybe they did get a couple breaks along the way. But you know what? When you get that, take it. Take advantage, because some teams don't get that. And maybe next year you have a big injury, right? Maybe next year, because you played deep into this season and some of these guys played all these extra minutes in game 7, maybe it starts to wear on you a little bit. You got to take advantage of that right now. So anything in particular you're looking at playing for game 1 tonight, Leo?
Yeah, so game 1, listen, here's my general strategy so far for this, for the series. My general strategy is going to be bet the road team pretty much every game. I think the Celtics are going to be able to split these 2 games. I don't know if they win game 1, win game 2. I'm going to take them both games. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them in game 1, hope they win in game 1, and then take the Warriors in game 2. Is my audio okay?
Yeah, you're okay.
Okay. Again, listen, the Warriors have been really good at home. They haven't lost a home game yet this playoff. I believe they're 9-0. But the Celtics have been extremely good on the road and actually haven't been that good at home.
That's
the
true.
Celtics are 7-2 on the road this year. They're coming off an emotional game 7 win. One thing that kind of like clicked for me yesterday was watching the hockey game. It was kind of a similar situation where you had the Rangers, who hadn't been to the Eastern Conference Finals in forever, coming off an emotional game 7, going against the championship pedigree of the Lightning. Everybody expects the Lightning to come out in game 1 and just curb stomp them, and the Rangers come out and win that game 6-2. That was like the selling point for me. But again, I'm a big homer, guys. You may want to.
But I will. You know what I will say, Leo? What I've actually been pretty surprised with how many people on the national, like, analysts and stuff have picked Boston, that have really leaned Boston and think that Boston's going to win the series. And I sort of thought, even like looking at the numbers, right? Like, that's not a huge number, 3.5, right? That's not like Boston's getting a pretty good amount of respect from Vegas.
Nope.
I will say this Boston team, they've gotten a lot of respect from the bookies and from Vegas, because they were heavily favored even on the road they were favored on the road even against Milwaukee. In some situations, I think they were favored in spots against Miami, the number 1 seed. Milwaukee was a short favorite against them, but they were favored on the road against Miami, which, you know, is for a team that isn't really necessarily proven. That was I think they've been getting a good amount of respect for them. So as a fan, it probably makes you feel good seeing that they're not being completely dismissed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it does feel pretty good, but I disagree. I think the Celtics should be bigger underdogs here. I mean, I said it the other night. If I'm a handicap,
I think so too.
I have
Yeah,
the Celtics at plus 200. Plus 200. It's a young team. They're
Yeah.
still trying to learn it. Ime Udoka, first-year coach. I mean, that is the story that hasn't gotten enough play. You have the first-year coach against the guy that's already won a couple championships. People seem to forget about Draymond Green. Draymond Green is very, very good. But I do have one player prop tonight, and it's completely against Eric. Give me my baby Jason Tatum, baby. I feel good. I'm ready for this kid to go bananas tonight. I have a feeling that if the Celtics are going to keep this one close, it's going to be because he's going to go bananas.
So we got a beer bet tonight. Leo, Eric, straight up beer bet on Tatum over under on the prop play. So we'll keep the running tally throughout the NBA Finals. Anytime that we all have a play that's against each other, and we'll see by the end who comes up on top if we have any head-to-head wagers there.
I actually got fancy with it though, because I'm not playing the 29. I'm not that interested in that number. I'm juicing it up to 39. I'm getting plus
Whoa.
450 on that.
Look at that. 40 points in game
Jeez.
one.
This
Wow.
game is going to be up and down the floor. This is not going to be a massive defensive game. All right, you're going to have two teams that are going to be playing small. They're going to be running up and down the fucking floor here. Okay, Jason Tatum, I'm expecting you to go off, baby boy. All right, I have my faith in you. I'm expecting at least 39, and you best be cashing my ticket and bring me a goddamn title. Okay.
Leo is fired up for the Celtics. Eric, give us some of your final thoughts on game one or anything on the series if you have any other plays.
I think that both teams are going to look to go and run in game one just because both teams are so good defensively. Generate some fast break points. So I would lean to like the over, but I didn't play the over. Should be an entertaining series. Warriors are getting Peyton and Iggy back and Otto Porter Jr., which should help them. It's going to be an interesting chess match between the two coaches.
It's funny because I'm as a Lakers fan, I genuinely dislike like the Celtics, and they're a big rival. And so like, I want to root against them. And I do, when they're playing most times, like in a fun sense, right? You sort of root against them because that's your rival. I don't really have any problem with this group of players particularly. That's the thing, is that like, they're a good group of players. They've grown up. Tatum, what I like to see is that he had that awesome rookie year, and then he took a step backwards, and he sort of had some growing pains here and there, but he just continues to progress. He's improved the things that I was concerned about with him. That's what a great player does. He wasn't as good of a playmaker. He would maybe have some defensive lapses here and there, but he's improved those things. In fact, his clutch numbers throughout the year were really bad. In the regular season, he's been way better in the playoffs anytime there was close games and he's had to like hit big shots. So he continues to improve, and as much as I dislike Boston and I love rooting against them, this particular group, they've done a really good job, and they deserve to be here because they put together a team that is the last team standing from the East when everyone else got hurt and got banged up and couldn't fight through. Boston could, and they deserve to be here right now, Leo. So whether or not I'll be playing them or playing against them, they sort of have earned to get to this spot. Go ahead, Eric.
So Gino's a Laker fan. Leo's a Celtics fan. How'd you guys take it with Tatum wearing the Lakers, the Kobe wristband?
What do you start that one, Leo? What do you think?
God damn it, Jason. God damn it.
I know.
God damn it. It couldn't have been something you wear on the inside of your sock, dude.
I know.
You know what? I thought about it for a couple of days. This is a different breed of breed of player. Like the days of Kobe and KG and those guys, that's done. That's done. That's over with. Those players are never coming back. That mentality's never coming back. This is a new breed. And you know what? If that gave him the confidence he needed to go win Game 7 to get us to the finals, you know what, dude? I don't give a damn. Okay, I'll go wear a Kobe jersey if you need me to. Whatever you need, bring me the title. But that's a contingency. Don't be wearing that shit and losing.
And
okay, that's unacceptable.
I don't mind because it doesn't feel like pandering, because I know that Tatum and Kobe did have an actual relationship. So that's to me where like, if it feels, sometimes it can be cringy when it feels like someone is like trying to do that to draw attention to themselves, right? But I don't think Tatum is doing that. Like, I think he's actually like really a Kobe guy. When everything that he's ever said, he's always been like a Kobe guy from when he was really young. And that was your guy, and he passed away after sort of being a little bit of a mentor. He was trying to help the guy. I'm pretty sure they would work out, and Kobe would like give him advice a lot. And so it doesn't bother me because of that. The Celtics Lakers stuff is definitely weird with it. And of course, like, I will say that all of the Laker, like accounts and everything, they're like, oh, when's Tatum going to be a Laker, right? Like, that's like what everybody wants to see as soon as they see that risk, so they're always trying to stir stuff up like, is there problems in Boston now? So it's kind of funny, but it doesn't bother me as much as if it was someone that I could feel was like pandering, someone that like didn't have any relationship with Kobe or didn't personally know him.
If you were a Celtic fan, would it bother you?
Me? Yeah. It would bother me.
The only reason why I'm weird about it is because he passed away recently, right? If he didn't like just pass away at like a young age in like a really tragic incident, if he just like, it sounds silly to say this, but like if he just passed away when he was old, like at his time, I don't. Then I would feel weird about it. Like if he was wearing like a Kareem, like if he's Kareem's alive, right? Or if he's wearing like, I don't know, like a Magic armband, I would feel weird about it. But Kobe does. There is something to the like. He just passed away before he was gone. It's like a tribute to someone who's not around. So that's why I feel a little bit weird about it bothering me. That's the only reason. I think if it was anybody else that wasn't Kobe, I would be bothered by it.
Yeah.
Yep. Any other for the Celtics Laker questions, Eric?
Nah, that's it from my end.
Okay, you keep thinking about it throughout the series, and if anything comes to you, we'll let you know from Laker Celtics perspective.
Oh, I got one for you.
Yes, sir.
How you gonna feel if we win this series and we got 18, you guys got 17 again? You guys.
Oh man, I'm gonna be furious. I'm gonna be.
Can I tell you a little bit inside?
Oh, of course it is, and I'm gonna be.
You're gonna have to deal with me on top of it.
Oh God, just because it would bother me, but knowing that I'm gonna have to deal with your ass even more, that's just like a double whammy slap in the face.
Yeah, it's
so.
pretty bad. I'm pretty fucking annoying. For those of you that don't know, I'm pretty annoying.
The best thing that could possibly happen about Boston being in the finals is Boston losing in the finals. That's the best part about Boston being in the finals, because then if just knowing if they lose, how crushing it would be for Leo and all those Celtics fan base, and just the feeling of just angst, it would be brutal.
Leo, what would be worse? What would be worse, a 4-0 sweep or losing like in the last seconds of Game 7?
Oh,
that's a great question. Yeah, that's a good one. Always.
It's the age-old question, dude. I'd rather go down swinging. Give me Game 7. Give me the last seconds of Game 7.
When you're gambling, give me the ass kicking, right? Like when I'm betting, I don't even want to be close. When it's my fan base, I want them to get as far as they can and to be as close as possible. So I'd say the same thing.
A really good thing happened was when Isaiah was playing LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals in that Game 4. When they came in and stepped on our throat in the Garden, they were up at like 60 at one point.
Yep.
Dude, it wasn't even fun. It was just miserable. Like, you start contemplating horrible things. And listen, I'm a little psychotic with this team too. So, I don't know. No. Give me a Game 7, break my heart. I'm okay with it.
Well, because then if you get beat 4-0, it'll actually play into some of those narratives that were like, oh, they only did beat teams that were a little bit banged up, right? How good was this team? Maybe they didn't. So that plays into it. If you have a good series against a good Golden State team, even if you lose, you feel really good about your future. Like, okay, man, just 6 months ago, people were telling us to get rid of Tatum and Brown. Like, now we love these guys and we can build around them. Grant Williams was a really good role player. Like, we feel like we got like a nucleus of like, a decent group to build around moving forward. So yeah, the whole vibe of the season could flip. I think I sort of would agree with Leo there. Eric, how about you? I mean, gambling wise, if I'm going to lose, I don't want to be close. I don't want a bad beat, but for a fan, I don't mind the bad beat, I guess.
Nah, as a fan, I'd rather have the game 7, get down to a chance to win it, instead of just getting your hearts ripped out in a 4-0 sweep.
Some growing pains along the way. Also, we will be here with you about an hour or so before every game of the NBA Finals. We'll continue to post out the times. We'll probably be something like an hour, 45 minutes before. That way we can lead you up right up to the game as close as possible, and that way we'll have as much information as possible. What's nice, too, there weren't any injuries to report. Everybody is pretty healthy here. The only one that was even on the injury report was Robert Williams, and you figure they're going to at least give him some shots out there because he gave it a go, and they've had a little time off now, and you'll have a lot of days off in between these games. So we'll be back with you for Game 2 right here at Better Than Vegas. Remember, everything is free at BTV. Flip those notifications on at BTV Bets. We just want to help you become a better. And if you head on over to oldsmokeclothing.com, you can show some support for some of your friends at Better Than Vegas by purchasing that t-shirt there. Use the promo code GINO and it'll get you free shipping on your order. It'll save you $5 when you order that shirt. Leo, my friend, good luck tonight in all your wagers. I don't know if I want to say good luck to your Celtics, but good luck to your wagers. I feel better about saying that. Eric, good luck to you, my friend. We'll be back here for Game 2 in just a few days. Have a fun night. Good luck, everyone. NBA Finals, here we come.